Welcome back to College Eats. I'm Abby Rosenblum, and today I'll show you how to make peppermint fudge. It's really simple, requires not too many ingredients, and this is more of a recipe for if you live in an apartment, but if you do live in a dorm, there are plenty of ways you can also make fudge that way. So for our peppermint fudge, we're going to start on the stove with 2 tablespoons of butter. I've already melted mine, so you'll just want that to melt, and you'll turn your stove on medium heat for this. And our next ingredient is sweetened condensed milk. So you'll put that in. And the reason we're doing this on the stove is so that everything gets warmed up. And then when we put in the chocolate chips, it'll be warm enough so that they'll melt. So we put that in and make sure we mix it all up. And then we're gonna add our sugar. And we're gonna add 1 3/4 cup. We'll mix this all in. Oh, this is just delicious sugary. Oh. So we've got all the sugar mixed in, and we want to let this just heat up a little bit so when we pour it into the bowl with chocolate chips, it'll start to melt the chocolate. So it looks like it is warm enough now. You don't want it to start boiling because that can get a little too hot. So we're going to go ahead and pour this into our bowl with chocolate chips. Okay, so we'll bring this over to our chocolate chips, and I already have put 1 1/2 cups of chocolate chips in here. So we'll just go ahead and pour this in. And then make sure that you mix this pretty quickly because the chocolate will start melting. All right, so now this is all mixed up. And we need to add our peppermint to make it peppermint fudge. And we're gonna add a 1/4 teaspoon of peppermint extract. We're also gonna add a teaspoon of vanilla. It smells so pepperminty over here. All right, we'll mix that in. Oh. Okay, so this is all mixed up and we're ready to put it in our pan. Before you start, you wanna make sure that you butter your pan. Otherwise, you won't be able to get your fudge out at all. And you're not cooking this again or anything, you're just putting it right in the pan and then putting it in the fridge to let it harden. And you probably want to leave it in the fridge for at least a few hours for it to be as hard as you want, even though you're probably going to want to eat it right away. Alright, make sure you spread it out evenly in the pan. That's all spread out. So you could be done now, but if you're feeling a little more ambitious, you could crumble candy canes on top, and you can use the same crushing method that I showed you with the eggnog mousse, and crush them up and sprinkle them on top just before you put it in the fridge. Or you can leave it just like this and it'll be just as delicious. All right, so for our peppermint topping, we're gonna put our peppermints in a bag. You could use candy canes too, and smash them up. These are a little harder to smash. There's one stubborn one in there. We got them mostly crushed, but they were a little bit hard to crush, so make sure you got a strong person to crush your peppermints for you. So we'll take some of the smaller pieces and just sprinkle them on top. And if you're making this in your dorm, you could just take these mints from the dining hall and then you don't need to worry about buying them. And it's another free way to make your delicious fudge. And the last step is just to put it in the fridge for a couple hours and then it's done and ready to go.